welcome back to another episode of Laps and Yaps. Today, I'm joined by the wonderful Chloe Grant as she kindly agreed to do an interview with me.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, starting with, what initially led you to motorsport and karting?
Sorry. Um, what initially led me? So I started karting in 2013, but for a year prior to that, I'm one of three, and my oldest sister Lucy, who's 9 years older than me. Lucy went to the cinemas, saw the Ayrton Senna movie, came home and said, "Dad, I want to do that." Um, And luckily, my dad's had a massive, massive interest in motorsport for a really long time now. But obviously, having three daughters, he just never thought that any of us would get into it. So his dreams came true. He got in touch with people he knew when he was previously doing like just karting for fun. They helped her start, and I was just the annoying little sister running around the paddock for a year. And then I actually remember it. I just walked into the kitchen one day and went, "Can I have a shot, Dad?" And then I started, and that was it, pretty much.
Well, that's nice. So did you have like an inspiration, or was that you looked up to your sister, or?
No, I just my sister. Obviously, Ayrton Senna is our biggest inspiration because technically he's the reason we're both in motorsport. But yeah, I would just say my sister really.
Yeah. So then, having your sister, do you think that made it easier to grow up in a male-dominated sport, or was it still a bit difficult?
Um, Sorry, I'm just very quickly. Sorry, I just got. Sorry, I know I'm being a bit annoying. 1 second.
It's fine.
I have to cut this out. Um, right. Okay. So for me growing up, because you're such a young girl, you don't see like gender is different. Like obviously you know what a boy and a girl is, but you don't think like, oh, if a boy's like doing this, then I can't do it. Like I never thought about like that way when I was a kid. I don't know about kids nowadays, but I personally never thought that way. So to me it was nothing really. Obviously there's a few things that like happened growing up as I got a bit older, like, but it was never that bad. And this is a topic I could speak about for a very long time. But I've always felt as a driver, I've never really had many issues. I remember when I was 13, I did have two issues with two guys who were like trying to take me off track and just getting annoyed because they were getting beaten by a girl because I was really good in kart racing actually. And I'm quite a confident person though, and I know a lot of people are bad with confrontation. I'm very good at it. I'm very comfortable at doing it. So if someone has said something about me or someone's annoyed with me, I'll just go and speak to them because I can't be bothered with this, speaking behind people's back, just not getting on with it when it's such silly, stupid things. So I'd rather just speak face to face and sort stuff. So I actually got them and their dads because realistically they were 13, 14. Also, they're young boys who are learning off the older generation in their family. And it was their granddads or their dads saying, you can't get beaten by a girl. So I actually took them all aside, including like the dads, and I was like, listen, like, this isn't what we're here to do. We're all here to race and like blah, 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 boring, boring, boring. They pretty much stopped it. I think I only had one more time after that where something happened and I went ballistic at him. So I was nice the first time. Then he did it again and I went ballistic, which you can't really do that in car racing. You have to be more respectful. But yeah, that's the only time I've had issues with competitors. But like I said, that came from their dads, the older
Yeah.
generation. In cars, never had any issues. I would say as you get older, like when I was 16 mainly, it was more sexual comments towards me.
Mm.
I specifically remember two mechanic, actually one mainly like mechanics from a team that I was racing against because I was friends with one of the other mechanics and they went, "Oh, they said this about like you guys, by the way," and I was like, "Oh my God!" But I was 16 and these guys were way older than me, and I
Yeah.
was like, it was not like they were my age. I could have spoken to them. I was like too scared to confront them. So that was the only thing I would say. And even like for example, there's a video I posted recently online about how, because people always say to me, why are you not an F3 or F2? And this is like
Yeah.
obviously people that don't have a general knowledge of the sport and like they just assume you can just go out there with what you have to actually pay millions, which
Yeah.
people actually go, oh my God, I didn't know that. Like I thought they got paid. No, they don't. You have to pay. So I made a joke about like why I'm not an F3 or F2. It's just a funny video and also kind of got the point across of I can't afford it and that's why. And there's so many guys on there commenting like, oh, she doesn't have OnlyFans, oh, she's secure, or like she's safe, like we like her. Or there's somebody else who said, oh, you should start OnlyFans. And I actually replied, you're disgusting. And he was like, I know. So I've had a few of this online, and I again, like my sister's like, don't reply, and I'm like, no, I want to defend myself. I want to say my bit. So I reply and then I block them because I don't want people like that who think like that and have got messed up brains like that seeing my page. But again, this is only stuff online from people that you'll never meet and don't know you. If they were face to face with me, they wouldn't say these things, which is something I can't stand. I feel like I'm rambling on here, but I could just keep going and going. But I just feel like I don't understand this whole concept of you can say what you want and comment
Yeah.
what you want. Like you actually can. Oh, okay, technically, legally you can, but you actually can't. Like
Yeah.
I could never, like I could never say something to somebody on my phone that I wouldn't say to their face. I just could never, I just don't get it. But anyways, sorry. And but even like always as a driver, I've never really noticed anything really bad. It's just these like these are only really two incidents I'm talking
Yeah.
about in the matter of like how many years? Oh my God, how many, like 12, 13-ish years. Um, so it's not that bad. And then, but I have noticed, because this is me speaking from a driver's point of view, and obviously I don't know the position of other like female motorsports point of view, but my other half does race, and I have noticed some differences recently when I go with him. So for example, if he's with me and I'm in my race suit, people will talk to me and then talk to him also, even if they don't know him. Like they'll be like, "Oh, so what do you do?" Like just general chit chat. Whereas I'm with him and he's in his race suit, people act like I'm just a stupid girlfriend and I'm not there. Like they literally act like I'm not there as I'm standing in the circle of group of people. And I don't expect them to think I'm a driver, obviously not. But you expect them to be like, "Oh hi, like it's nice to meet you,"
Yeah.
and like at least be nice. So I will say that, and I know that my sister working in the media previously, she's she's experienced some nasty things from again older men. It's always not always. There's some young boys are messed up, but it's mainly older men who like think they can just say what they want. Um, so yeah, she's experienced that quite bad, I would say. Um, so yeah, when you have your suit on, it's actually usually fine unless it's somebody hiding behind a screen. Um, but yeah, I don't know about when you're not in a suit, apart from I've just experienced a little bit of that recently. So yeah, I feel like I've answered a lot more than just one question there. But sorry, it's just a topic that like I'm like, just everyone shut up.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. How did you find like growing up in balancing education and racing? Was there like things you felt you missed out on in school or not really?
Um, so I hated every second of school. Um, I I'm gonna be very honest. I'm somebody who doesn't like being told what to do. And the concept of the fact that I had to go somewhere every single day where they told me exactly what I had to do and I hated doing it, like it just I know that's stupid because you have to do it, but it just annoyed me. Like I don't like even I know it sounds dumb because even when it comes to like jobs, people are like, oh, I hate my job but it's good money. And I don't think you should hate your job.
Yeah.
Like I believe that everybody can do what they truly love if they work hard enough for it. So I will never understand doing stuff that makes you unhappy. So yeah, I hated school. Didn't really get along with people because like all these friendship groups were hanging out every single day and I was training every single day in away racing and I eventually got pushed aside. So I was pretty much on my own in high school. Um, and I left the second I could. So I know that years are different in England and Scotland,
Yeah.
but so for us, I left in S4, which is my fourth year of high school, which I was 16,
Yeah.
and I applied for Loughborough College. So I went to Loughborough College. I moved there, lived there for 2 years. I was on the Motorsport UK course, the DICE program. So that was really good because obviously I was with all other racing drivers.
Yeah.
So we were all in the same boat. We all understood each other. We all kind of knew each other a bit before going in, but we actually got to get really close and make some really good friends. So yeah, college was really good. Balancing it, I'll be honest. Well, obviously, because I was at a motorsport course in college, it
Yeah.
worked really well. Like they understood our situation, so they were really understanding. And if we missed a due date, they were really good. Like Loughborough was really good to be at. High school, they didn't really get it. Like I'd be like, okay, I can't be here. The teacher would be like, this is everyone needs to do this on this date, and I'm like, I'm not here those dates, and they'd get annoyed at me, and it's like, well, my sport's gonna come first.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, honestly, I just kind of fluked high school. Like I'll be honest, I did the bare minimum because I was angry and unhappy, and I was angry at the teachers because they just didn't get it. Like, I don't know, that they thought that my whole life should be studying and working on school stuff and I shouldn't be focusing on my sport. And it was so frustrating. So I kind of, when I am angry about something, I avoid it as much as possible. But I did still manage to get grades, obviously, because I got into college.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will be honest, I'm not a great person to look up to when it comes to balancing school and sport, unless you're speaking about college. But high school, I'm not.
Okay. Um, when did you move out of karts? And then what is the change like from karts to actual race cars?
So I moved from karting to cars in 2021 when I won the GSCC scholarship. So obviously, a lot of people don't know this, but my first ever year in cars was not a single seater. It was, like I said, GSCC in a Citroen Saxo. So it's like just but good fun, really young teenagers, usually banging against each other's doors, kind of racing. Yeah, it was I didn't expect to win the scholarship, and it really helped me make that jump to cars, obviously.
Yeah.
So I got to learn all the tracks that year in the UK pretty much. And it was junior racing, which was like quite a lot of crashing, but it was still good fun. And then getting my name into the car industry helped me get my next seat into GB4, which was the year after, which was really, really cool. So yeah, it was I don't know. It's very different, especially when you go from karting to like a saloon car. Like it's nothing, they're nothing like one another. So I had to learn a whole different way to drive. And then when I moved to single seaters, I just couldn't believe the feeling of the downforce around a corner. Like when you're in your first test day, it is so hard to just trust the car to stick to the ground around a corner. But it was amazing that first day in a single seater.
Yeah. So my next one was what was it like racing in GB4?
Okay. Um, so I did it different years, two different experiences, I would say. So 2022 and 2024. 22 I did it because I got Laser Tools come on board and they wanted me to do it. So I said, heck yes. And then 2024, I did it because unfortunately I couldn't get the funding to do British F4. So that was the next best thing.
Yeah.
Um, the team I did it with in 22, it wasn't a nice experience, if I'm being honest. Like for example, when I went into F1 Academy in 23, I was so unprepared because I didn't learn the basics I should have learned in GB4 in 2022. There was just it wasn't a very nice atmosphere. I wasn't getting taught the way I should have. I wasn't getting treated properly. I wasn't like it's just not how a driver should ever feel with a team. So I actually really didn't like GB4 after that year. And then coming back into it in 24, obviously I moved to KMR Sport. I love KMR. I couldn't say a single bad thing about them. I think they're an incredible team, such nice people, such a chill atmosphere. Like the daughter of the team owner, like we're still friends and we're going to Tate McRae concert this month. So I made some good friends from it as well. Um, I'm still not, if I'll be being honest, there's still some things that need to fix with GB4. Like I can't stand that it's not under FIA regulations like British F4 is. So like you'll go into the steward's office and the guy kind of just makes it up as he goes because it's like his rules and not a set book of rules. Like one time I reported like a safety start infringement, not safe, sorry, a starting like a false start and like a start infringement. I forgot the word. And he was like, oh, well, if I disqualified that person, I'd have to disqualify the whole grid. And I was like, well, that's not true because over half the grid didn't do what
Yeah.
those 3 or 4 people did. So that's wrong. Like it was just really frustrating. They just made it up as they went. But yeah, the team were great. And I think also mentally coming back to something I already done wasn't good for me because I felt like I failed when realistically this funding is out of my control. I worked as hard as I could to get it for British F4 and I just couldn't. So I felt like a failure coming back into it and I felt a lot of pressure coming back into it. And I think halfway through, after just like being in the steward's office because some idiots that didn't know how to drive would just drive into you. And I was so fed up. And I think mentally I was gone. And by that point, once you're mentally not there, you're not pushing. So I love KMR, but GB4 was really frustrating. I think it was mainly because my first experience with it was so bad, and that was mainly from the first team, to be honest with you. So it's not fair to say it in the championship. Um, They are nice people. It's just that one steward that was so frustrating. So yeah, mixed emotions about it. I think my negativity is mainly from my first year with that team. Yeah.
Okay, you kind of asked my next question, so I'm gonna move on. So when you were switching between GB4 and F1 Academy, was it like a difference because of it being like female only for one and then mixed for the both, or did it not really pay much difference?
So I'll be honest. Now, like so many people are like, "Oh my God, like they have an all-female championship. This is ridiculous."
Yeah,
Us girls think that too, right? I was like, "Why am I doing this? This is not going to be good." And then I went into it and I was like, "Oh my God, these girls are fast." It was no different to racing against other guys. Um, it was literally like again, we were just drivers. There was zero difference. Um, yeah, I think that pretty much answers it, doesn't it?
yeah. But how different are the GB4 and the F1 Academy cars?
So they're really different. So the F1 Academy car is the exact same as the British F4 car.
Okay,
However, the front, and which is the same car in your like Spanish F4, Italian F4, UAE F4, blah 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 blah.
yeah,
The only thing is obviously the rear and front wings are designed to look different so that it looks different, but it doesn't actually change anything with the
okay,
speed. And the brakes are a bit different. Like for example, in the F1 Academy, you had to hit the brake a lot harder, whereas in the British F4, it locks up so easily. You have to be really gentle with the brake. So yeah, it's the exact same car, pretty much apart from that. But going from GB4 to F1 Academy, I preferred the F1 Academy car, which like slash British F4 car, a lot more personally. I just feel it handles a lot nicer. It's so much nicer having a halo and feeling a bit extra safe. Yeah, I just loved how it handled, to be honest, the feeling of it. I felt like driving the GB4 was like driving a boat. Um, so yeah, I much preferred the other car. Yeah, there's lots of differences within it I could get into, but I won't bore you with those details.
what is like overall F1 Academy experience like? You know, getting to be on that. Well, I think was it last race, the Kota race was the one you did with F1.
Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of sad they've like kind of excluded our year completely. Like, see this Netflix thing coming out, they filmed our whole year as well, and they're just not, it looks like, okay, it looks like they're not releasing it because as far as I'm concerned, I've only seen them put 2024 on it, not 2023. So I'm kind of sad about that. Like, we were the first every year. It was in a very important year, and they're just acting like we never happened. Um, the whole experience being in it was amazing. I never thought I'd race internationally, so I loved it. The biggest thing for me was racing for ART Grand Prix. I mean, obviously, like I said, I went in way too unprepared. So
Yeah,
they kind of taught me all the basics and more things that I needed to learn. My teammate Lena Buller was amazing. She was such a good role model, so helpful for me. She was just incredible. She was everything I needed in a teammate. Yeah, ART were just like they became my family. I was so sad to have to leave them. Like I've never been so sad to have to leave a team in my life. Like yeah, it was just I was really sad. I didn't want to go. But yeah, I wish I could do more with ART, but unfortunately we don't have that kind of budget for those other championships. But yeah, I learned a lot. It matured me a lot. Changed me as a person in a good way, I'd say. Um, Mostly. A lot, yeah, mostly. Yeah, I'm very grateful for the experience. I just wish they would actually remember that our year
yeah,
happened and stop acting like last year was all it was.
yeah. Well, I know, but did it help you progress and develop as a driver? But you kind of told me that it
Yeah.
did. So then, do you like think that F1 Academy is helping careers like enough that eventually we could see it push a driver into say like F3 or F2? I know the funding's the problem with a lot of them, but
Yeah, yeah, I think they could do more. You can't just give a driver one fully funded year and then watch them move into GTs like they did with Marta. And Abby's not doesn't come from a rich background, so and she's got Roden on board now, which is awesome. So
yeah,
they should hopefully support her further if F1 Academy don't. So I think she might be okay. But yeah, you can't just support them for 1 year and then let them move out. You need to actually help them progress up the ladder like you're telling us you will.
yeah. Um, I can't put my question into one, so I can say what like do you think that the increase in female representation what do you think about increase I can't read my writing. what do you think about the increasing female representation in motorsport, like within all areas? Like, I think there's more mechanics now as well that are like shown a bit. Do you think it's good for the sport? Like, it's going to help develop it overall? Like, yeah, I don't know what I'm saying.
It's fine. Yeah, 100%. Um, I think I've never really seen it as an issue, like there being less women, because to me it's just
Yeah,
like, oh, it's just like an interest. For example, I grew up with Barbies, and then one day I just found motorsport. So I don't see it as like an issue because I couldn't think of a single other girl in my high school that liked cars. Um, so yeah, but growing up and learning like men and women are different, but we can still do a lot of the same things. However, this is going to hurt a lot of guys, but women are like so intelligent. Like, the fact that we have like emotional intelligence also,
yeah,
and like the world would be a better place if women were ruling. And like that's going to hurt a lot of people, but it's just the truth. Like, try it. It will prove our point. Like it just would. The way that we operate and the way we can actually multitask as well, unlike men,
yeah,
it would just be a better place. So yeah, I think actually having more women in these honestly more important roles like engineering, mechanicking,
yeah.
team principals, I think that is very, very important. So it makes me excited to see more come in.
Okay. Do you still do work with girls on track? I think I read that somewhere.
Yeah, I'm their ambassador.
What's that like? What does that you really do? Do you like promote it, I'm thinking?
So I like so I've been with Girls on Track since the first ever event, which they were originally called Dare to Be Different, and Susie Wolf set it up. First ever event, I was like 10 years old. It was a Knock Hill. Anyways, it grew to be more, and I would just go to the events and like talk to girls about what's like to be a driver, blah 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 blah. And then eventually, as I progressed in my racing as well, they let me become an ambassador, which meant instead of me being involved in like the fun little tasks that people would go around, I'd be sitting on the panel with a bunch of other incredible women, and I get to actually talk and answer lots of questions to these girls. And just when we have more, yeah, just that's kind of just what I do really. Obviously promoting as well, yeah. And then we sometimes have events where it's like just Girls on Track members rather than like the school things. And again, I'm
Yeah.
on the panel for those.
Okay. And lastly, do you have any future racing plans or any racing series you'd love to do?
Uh, um, I think I know I want to move to GT slash like endurance racing stuff,
Yeah.
but I don't know what yet. Obviously, unfortunately, this year I haven't got the funding to race, so I'm hoping I can in 2026, or maybe even at the end of this year. That'd be awesome. I don't have a specific championship right now or anything like
Yeah.
that. I don't want to make a wrong decision. I want to test a couple different things first, and then I want to make the decision. And aim to raise sponsorship for something for next year. So yeah, don't know what yet, but more GT endurance route.
And that is all my questions. Thank you so much.